Check out the records. Maybe not all over Lagos as we know it now, but certain area in Lagos, maybe the nucleus of Lagos was founded by my ancestors. The Oba of Lagos will say so. I'm sure you know that he will always emphasize that it comes from Benin. The source of Lagos is Benin.
The relationship between the Benin and the Eko people. Yes.
The first Oba of Lagos is a male descendant of Oba of Benin and very close person to him. He's sending him on a mission here, and that's why we have a song. Ọmọkọ́mọkọ́ ni wa o, àwa kì í ṣọmọ àbí ìdànù. Òde ìbíní nọ̀bí bàbá àwa sí, ọba ló bí síbẹ̀ kì í ṣàárẹ̀. Ẹ̀yin gbọ́, that's any at the installation of any Oba. That song is always there. And anybody who wants to be a chief or anything, or Oba, at that Enowa, when we finish the ceremony, we do like this. That thing we are doing, they are saluting the Oba of Benin.
This is my second response to the boy who missed word to suggest that the Oba of Benin was claiming Lagos. Here are documented works and books from foreigners showing themselves that Benin was the rightful owner of Eko. History speaks clearly. Let facts and not ignorance lead the conversation. Let's begin. In 1850s, Akintoye and Kosoko had some issues, of which Akintoye wrote a letter to the British. In return, John Beecroft, who represented the Queen of England as a consul in Lagos as at that time, wrote a letter back to the Oba of Benin, because the Oba of Benin was the overlord and the person who can appoint any king in Lagos. I'm breaking it down so you all can understand. So this letter that is on this video was the letter that was sent to the Oba of Benin by John Beecroft, as written here, to the King of Benin, as Her Majesty's representative. It is my wish to recall to your collection the desire of the Queen of England to be friend with all kings and chiefs of Africa. In compliance with my sovereign's wish, friendship was offered to the present chief of Lagos, which he refused and fired on a flag of truce. This has placed him at war with England, and I have to inform you that no other king of Lagos will be acknowledged by England than Akintoye. And knowing your interest in that king and desire to serve him, I tell you this, that if before the end of this month, Kosoko the usurper of Lagos does not surrender and acknowledge his rightful and proper king, Akintoye, and resign the crown in his favor, Lagos will be totally destroyed by fire, and not one house will be left between that and Jabo. It remains for you to prevent this disaster by assisting Akintoye, whose acknowledgement as King of Lagos will create peace and goodwill amongst all parties. Akintoye is now at Badagry and has friends at Lagos ready to assist him with yourself. On your speed in this matter will be shown your desire or not of obtaining the friendship of England, given under my hand this 4th day of December 1851. John Beecroft, HBM, Consul. That is 1. This book you see here on the screen was written and documented around 1678 to 1682 AD. A man named John Barbot, in his voyage to the coastal parts of today's West Africa, documented that Eko itself, Ijebu, was a tributary state to Benin. Just take a look at the cycled parts. I read a passage yesterday about Roma, who wrote about how the Benin Empire extended to River Gabon and Gold Coast. Another man, Jean Alphonse, he also wrote that Benin extended down to the region of the Gold Coast, and this has strengthened the works of Roma. Read this passage. The kingdom of Benin stretches from River Volta as far as River Roya. The people there are dressed in cotton clothes, and in this kingdom there is a small amount of Malagota pepper, long pepper. The chief goods to take there for trade are bracelets, paternoster beads, and small red clothes. I believe you all still see red clothes today used by the Benin people. Two different white men also recorded in 17th century, the man of Wakeman in 1659 and another man Van Brakel in 1670. They stated on their reports that today's Dahomey was under the Empire of Benin back in the days. Let's read together. As to the art object cited, it is authentic. It came in the 17th century before 1656 in Europe from Adra, a town on the coast of the present Republic of Benin, Dahomey. Its maker, the exact locations of the workshop in which it was made, and the date of manufacture are unknown. Our information about it stems from a catalogue in 1659. A sacrificial board carved with strange, marvelously rare and horribly devilish image, which the king in Adra, who is a vassal to the great king of Benin, and his most important officers and people of the same province, used to employ for sacrifices to their gods or fetishes, on which they are wont to sacrifice to them. And this sacrificial board has been desecrated by the ruling king of Adra himself and has been used by him. That is one. Read the other report. Let's just go down to the ticked part so I won't bore you. Adra, the company has there a lodge, and it is so big that it looks like a big village. Every year, we buy 2,500 to 3,000, sometimes even more slaves. The English in the French also have lodge here, and they are also doing their best. The king is tributary to the king of Benin. History happened in the past, but what I'm trying to bring out here is talking about Benin as an empire. The kings of Benin, the Obas of Benin, as powerful kings. The location are known as Eko, up to Dahomey, Badagry, and the Gold Coast were tributary states to the king of Benin. So for those of you that also know the people called the Landa brothers, they were explorers. They stayed around Badagry. In 19th century, that's 18 something. So they also recorded their own parts of what they met when they stayed around Lagos, which is Eko, and Badagry as is. And they wrote that the places they saw were under the powerful king of Benin. Let's read together. The travels of the landers throw just a little light on the extent of the influence of Benin and its neighbors. They tell us, when at Badagry in 1830, that during the lifetime of the late ruler's father, and for countless ages before that period, Badagry was a province of Lagos and tributary to it, as Lagos is and has been from time immemorial to the powerful king of Benin. They also tell us that the body of the late chief at Badagry, like those of his ancestors, has been sent to Benin in order that its bone might adorn the sacred temple at the place, agreeably to an ancient and respected custom which has ever been religiously conformed to and tenaciously held by the Lagos people. If you go further, you will also read the other parts, but I'll stop there. Let's move on.
And another clarification is, some people often mistake the Ashikpa of Oyo to be the Ashikpa of Eko. Some said the Ashikpa of Eko was the origin of Ashikpa of Oyo, or the one in Oyo is the origin of the one in Eko. No. The Ashikpa in Oyo was created in 19th century by Alafin Atiba. During his reign, it was created as a title. So Ashikpa at Oyo is among the Oyo Maces, the chiefs, more like a mayor of a town there. So the people at Oyo, they understand that better. But talking about the Ashikpa of Benin was in 16th century. 16th century, the end of 16th century. That was how when the Ashikba of Benin came about. When Barogba was requested to leave Eko and return to Benin, I told you people that Eheng was accused when he was a prince. I talked about it, and most of you that are Edo people will know this history. So I will talk about it properly another day. But when Obarogba was requested for, he made a pronouncement, a word that I seek by him Womare. That word became a name for the scion, his own scion that is sent to Eko, who became Isikba. So that name became glued to Isikba. So it became Isikba. Edo people's alphabet does not have SH. So we do not use she in our word. The name Isikba was corrupted by the Yoruba people of Lagos State as at that time, and other Yoruba outside Lagos State that also came, because there are some things we pronounce here due to our language difference. They pronounce it differently. Ashikba as a word might have existed at Oyo. Fine, it's fine. But that of Eko is Isikba. The A will be silent and the I will be the beginning of the pronunciation of the word. So you say Isikba, not Ashikba. So they are of two different meaning, two different words, and different year entirely. You can calculate 16th century to 19th century. They are very much far apart. And not only that, when Ashikba, the person you call Ashikba, who is Isikba, as clearly pronounced, was at Eko. He had a son who he named Edo. He named him Edo. And later, Edo was corrupted, because wherever you hear Ado, I know some Yoruba people, they will argue that there's Ado at Ogun State, there's Ado here, there's Ado here. Was it Edo people? Wherever you hear Ado or Yoruba people pronouncing Ado, they are still referring to Benin. They are referring to Edo. That's how they pronounce Edo. Just as we pronounce Ubini, and we spell it now Benin. They still spell it Bini because they are used to it. But that's not the correct spelling. Now, Edo, who they call Ado later, also stayed glued as Oba Ado. Oba Ado had a son who he named Igwobaro. I am with the king, Igwobaro. Over the years, the people of the other tribes that are under the umbrella of Yoruba today, they called him Gabaro. So today the name is Gabaro. Originally it is Igwobaro. It is not Gabaro. So as so many names were corrupted, like Oshodi, which they call Oshodi. You understand? It's originally Osodi. It's an Edo word. And the Osodi has a very significant title and position that he holds in the palace. And not only that, there are some streets and locality in Lagos that has the word Ogbe, that has the word Idun. I have talked about that before. So with all this evidence, if you are still, as a Yoruba man, you have this ego of we have population, we have numbers, and you still argue. It is left for you. It's left for you. Because I don't see any reason why you see white and call it black. History is history. It's not because I'm an Edo man. There are places Edo people also became migrants. They were migrants there, and the history is still there. The British conquered the Empire of Benin. It's history. In the next 40 years, my child cannot come out and start arguing that it didn't happen. It happened. So you have to swallow your pride and just accept the history with facts that has been presented before you. So for the boy that made this video, I don't know if you're a content creator or you are an historian or you just believe what you believe. It's fine. I will not drag your history. It is not in my place to force you to believe my own history, but I present facts before you. And for those Ife-centric historians or Ife-centric Yoruba believers about the history of Eko being a scion of Ile-Ife according to you, can you just search the meaning of the word nucleus? If you can, please search. But before that, I will also place the meaning here for other people to see. You have listened to the Oba of Benin. You have seen facts, documented ones from foreigners that came. that were not influenced by Benin people. You have heard what the Oba of Lagos said on different occasions. So I think talking about a coast origin or the word or the places there, if you bring it in as an argument, it is dead on arrival. So I think I'll have to move on from here.